like it accelerates fairly, fairly well. It's driving down this kind of side road away from the train station and away from the airport. And of course, it's using its blinker, and I can see exactly, how fast it's going. It's telling me the exact directions. It made a full stop at the stop sign. There's a car approaching. And I don't feel like the car is like wandering from lane to lane or trying to be readjusting. It seems very sure of itself. I like that. That's a good thing. Okay. Now it's making a turn on kind of a busier street. And so I know there's a couple of more other things happening. First of all, I can monitor this on my app. If something is happening, if I need urgent help, I can actually dial up urgent help. And there's a camera, I think, monitoring right there on the ceiling. And I can actually speak to a human in a call center and tell them about my issue. Or I can make the car pull over at any time. So if you're worried about, not how do you tell the driver if something, urgent is coming up, how do you communicate that? Well, you do that through the app, or you can also do that on the vehicle's screen right here. So the other thing I was gonna say, so why is this an electric car? Why is this a Jaguar I-Pace? Well, first of all, some of the more current new models have the steering, the braking, and acceleration all computer controlled, and so you need that to actually autonomously control the vehicle. The steering wheel is still here, as you can see, and this vehicle otherwise feels normal. There's no, the seat has lots of space. I'm just about 6'3". I have headspace. I think there's another camera up here. And you need all that technology to kind of allow the car to actually control itself. It has a lot of sensors, as you saw. When the car pulled up, there were many, many sensors. There's LiDAR, radar, cameras. I don't know all the ins and outs of the Waymo tech, but after about 10 years in the automotive business, after talking to many other engineers, there's a guy just looking at me in a weird way and wondering why there is no driver. After talking to engineers, what you kind of want to do is actually combine all those sensors, the traditional radar, long-range radar, closer range LiDAR, so laser-based system, and then cameras, and maybe some other systems, of course, GPS, high-precision maps. Combine it all together so the vehicle has all that information real time, so it's able to navigate streets safely. Like I said, I feel like this car is driving in a pretty confident manner. I don't know if you can tell, but it decelerates at a good speed, it accelerates at a good speed. Let's see, how long is my ride? About 10 more minutes. There are a couple of course, negatives, right? So let me show you on this app. This is not available everywhere. Here, do you see that little square? That's from about airport, Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, through the downtown area. I believe there's about 42 square miles, which is a really sizable area, but still. For example, if I wanted to go to Scottsdale right now, this car won't go there because it's kind of it's bound by these boundaries because that's the mapping and the data it has, and that's the only thing it can do. So it can only drive in this particular area. Okay, we're in the neighborhood now. It's making this very, very tight turn. There's something on the road, a trash bag. Okay, it just drove over that little piece of trash. It did not try to avoid the trash. I guess it assumed that object was not dangerous, and it doesn't seem like it was. It's also kind of giving me a little indication of the cars parked, the other vehicles that are going by. So it's kind of reassuring me that it knows that other vehicles are here around me. Well, I think, well, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. I thought this was going to be a very, very slow process, very abundance of caution. I'm pleasantly surprised. This car is, of course, obeying all the laws, speed limits and everything, but it's not, really being super, super cautious. It's able to navigate and live in this world full of human drivers around me and pedestrians and other objects. There's something else. So Phoenix is one of the first cities and places where this is available, this service is available. And I think, there's many reasons for that, but part of that reason is good weather, right? This is January, late January. It's about 55 degrees outside. It's a sunny day. So the weather element is kind of out of the question. I don't know how it would react to torrential downpour that Phoenix can have. But as far as normal driving conditions, I think an autonomous vehicle doesn't have to combat those conditions, and maybe that allows companies like Waymo One, to actually, operate like this. And I think as this technology gets more mature and develops a little bit more, places like Denver might be able to get something like this because, well, of course, there's legislation also, so you have to be legal for an autonomous ride-share service vehicle to operate, but also all the other elements have to be there, including the weather, handling the weather conditions, ice, snow, rain, fog, anything like that. Okay, so it says 5 more minutes. It's estimated that exactly. It says I have 105 miles left on my charge in this car. Of course, I don't really mind. I don't care because there's plenty of charge for my ride. And really, as a passenger, I don't really care what happens after I get out of the car. So, very curious. I would say I'm just, it's like a normal ride. I'm fairly relaxed. Before I did this, I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll be a little bit nervous. Maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable seeing nobody at the driver seat in this car. But I feel okay. Let's see what happens when we get on a busier street. I did a little brake check, kind of slowed down, not sure why. Still not too bad, there's no sudden, not too sudden. Okay, there's a stop sign coming up. It's making a full stop. and we're getting onto 16th Street. As you can tell, there is some traffic here. It wants to go right. I decided to pull out and change lanes immediately. Yeah, I would say this car feels pretty confident. Of course, it helps it's a big white car with a lot of sensors on top of it, so it's pretty visible to the other drivers. You might be wondering, okay, Andre, so you got this car. Actually, it came sooner than it originally said. I paid, what, about $17, right? To go, what's 4 to 5, 6 miles at lunchtime. It's noon. So is the price comparable to Uber or Lyft? I'll do another calculation, I'll let you know. But I think so, yes. And that's what Waymo was telling me as well. I was checking into it, and they said that the pricing is comparable for taking this ride versus using some of the other companies like Lyft or Uber. Oh.
Almost there. Don't forget your belongings.
It just told me not to forget my
For your
belongings.
safety, the doors will remain locked when we arrive. Pull the handle twice to exit. The first pull unlocks, the second opens the door.
Sweet. Okay, so when it arrives, the doors will be locked. I have to double pull and exit. I am getting weird looks from pedestrians. Anyway, this car is super quiet, super nice. Oh, by the way, it also, when I was installing the app, it asked me about my music. So you could actually set it up to where you can play your music as well. I said no because I wanted to do a video. Oh, is it really 70 degrees now? Whoa, look, it just parked.
You're here.